Hi everybody, this is Carla again, and this time I'm back with a review for episode 7 of season 3 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The episode is titled Chaos Theory, and dude, chaos is right, okay? Because holy shit, this episode. I mean, okay, I'm going to sound like an insane fangirl, but I'm really hyped up right now. I literally just finished watching it, and holy shit. I mean, God, this episode did everything to my feelings, okay? It's like my emotions are all over the place right now. And it was just so good. Man, it was so good. I mean, first of all, I have to give massive props to Blair Underwood, aka Andrew Garner. It's no secret that I loved Andrew. I mean, I love Blair Underwood, so I immediately latched onto the character, and I really loved Andrew. And so, after the previous episode, it was kind of, I was still kind of in shock when I did my review, but generally speaking, I was still thinking that maybe Andrew might still be there, that he might still be good, in a way, because I liked him so much. I didn't want him to just become a psychopath. So I was hoping for it, but at the same time, Blair Underwood is so good. I mean, he's such a great actor that basically everything he did in this episode, everything, like, before I didn't even think about it, when he was, on screen, but now that I know that he was Lash, it's like everything he did, every single line he said, I was like thinking, is that true? Is it not true? Is it? And Blair Underwood played that ambiguity so well. So well. Like, even before he started, he had his encounter with May and he started breaking down. Even before that, there was like the way he would look at things, the tone he would use when speaking to certain people. It was all very ambiguous, and I don't think that's easy to do. So huge kudos to Blair Underwood for being amazing. So I guess I knew again that the whole Lash thing would come up pretty quickly because they're not stretching things out in this season. So I was pretty sure the whole Lash thing was going to go down and be out in the open, and the manhunt would start quickly in this episode. I wasn't expecting it to last more than one episode. Something I forgot to say in my previous review was that for the previous episode, I was actually really happy with the way Lash looked, because they kept him in the shadows for like the entirety of the season, probably so that he wouldn't look so goofy with the special effects. Like, it's one of those camera tricks you do. It's like when your special effects budget isn't great, you keep your CGI and makeup actors in the shadows so that you can just see like the general silhouette of them, and you can't really see the details that maybe aren't terribly perfect. In the previous episode, we got a full look at Lash when he transformed in the daytime. So, there was no hiding him at all at that point, and I thought he looked pretty damn good. I had been the one who was complaining about the way Lash looked since the beginning of the season, because I thought he looked really goofy, and I thought the makeup just wasn't working, and what's up with the dreads, that was awful. In the previous episode, he looked great, and I was really happy about that. This episode, we're back to the goofy looking Lash. It feels to me like maybe it should have worked backwards. Like maybe they should have kept him a bit more, like, better looking in this episode with CGI than in the previous one. But at the same time, I guess the previous one was the big reveal. So I don't know how those things work. Like, who decides? How do they decide which episode they're going to allot most of the budget to? But I really did not like the look of Lash in this one again. So, yeah, I guess, I guess most of the budget just went toward, the plane and Lincoln's electricity, which wasn't terribly impressive either. I don't know what, but I didn't like the look of Flash. Now, the plot line was amazing. Like, the entire, it was all so tense, and so, I was like, as someone who really likes Andrew, and as someone who was rooting for May and Andrew to, like, be happy together again, I mean, in my head, as someone who watches a lot of TV and a lot of sci-fi, I kind of knew that, yeah, they weren't going to be allowed to be happy. But at the same time, I was rooting for it because I am a consummate fangirl, so of course I'm always rooting for true love to win out in the end, that kind of crap. So I was rooting for them, and the entire episode I'm like, just, Andrew, God, just give me a sign that you're still in there. And I'm kind of a little sad about that because I was hoping, first I was trying to, it was really confusing because at first I was really hoping that there would be some glimpse of Andrew in there, and then on the other hand I was kind of hoping that the entire thing would have been like Lash's influence, like the change into a human just kind of scrambled his brain, so it wasn't really Andrew doing these things. Like, I was looking for an excuse for him because I like him so much. I don't think it's either. I think he's somewhere in between. Like, I think, unfortunately, I think the change did kind of scramble his brain a bit, so he had like this instinctual desire to kill Inhumans that just couldn't be stopped. But I don't think it completely took over him. I think it kind of maybe warped a little bit of the thoughts and the principles that Andrews already had in him, in a way. Because at points he was in control. It can't be denied. He didn't kill Daisy. He wasn't going to kill Joe. By the way, great to see Joe again. I like that guy. Let's hope we see him more often. But like, he didn't kill Joe. He wouldn't kill Daisy. He was going to kill Lincoln, though. So like, I do think there was a little bit in his head that kind of meshed well with the Lash instinct. Like, he thought somehow that he could determine whether a person was going to be good with their inhuman powers or not. Like, maybe he thought that, like, just this inherent psychologist thing of always wanting to analyze people and trying to determine what they're going to do. Maybe a little bit of that mixed with the Lash instinct and led him to think that he could be, as Lincoln said, judge, jury, and executioner, basically. And that kind of sucks because then I can't really excuse what he did. Hopefully, if they ever find a cure, which I guess they won't, because Inhumans are kind of a big deal. And if they're cured, how are they going to make a Marvel movie about them in 2018 or 19? I don't even know when it is out anymore. I don't think they're gonna find a cure. But either way, I just don't think I can excuse his actions. Like, Andrew, you need therapy, dude. Like, when you come back to yourself and out of stasis, you're gonna need a heck of a lot of therapy, because I think a lot of the ideas that Lash was just spouting out all over the place were in Andrew to begin with. So, sad, but true. Hopefully they'll find a way to, like, fix the thing before he full turns into Lash, because that would suck. Because Blair Underwood is hot, and I don't want to not see him anymore. I want him to come around at some point. Speaking of stasis, though, I really like the way they sort of did, because the whole Daisy versus Rosalind thing, where Daisy was really on one extreme and Rosalind was really on the other extreme. And in their conversation, you could sort of see that they both had good points. It's like, on the one hand, you can't just put Inhumans in stasis without giving them a chance, to actually become in control of their powers and be good people and productive to society. Like, they could help. On the other hand, yes, there are some people who won't be able to, which is what Rosalind said, and sometimes you just can't take that risk. It's like human beings and guns, it's, on the one hand, yeah, I mean, it's not the gun that kills people, it's people who kill people. So on that side, maybe the gun is not the dangerous thing. On the other hand, some people are going to be psychos or are going to have enough problems and they won't be able to control their, the way they use guns. So maybe we should take all guns away. That's kind of the metaphor here, that I think Rosalind's trying to make. And I think there's a middle ground, and I liked that through the episode, they sort of made them realize that the other also had valid points in their argument. Like, Daisy saved Rosalind, so she figured out that, okay, maybe there's, a point to Inhumans learning to use their powers for good. Maybe they can be useful. Maybe they can save lives, like Daisy just did. On the other hand, at the very end of the episode, Daisy realizes that, yeah, for some of them who are completely uncontrollable, maybe stasis and waiting for a quote-unquote cure is a good thing. And I just really like that subplot, because their ideological differences remind me a lot of X-Men. Like, I know the third X-Men film was the worst one by far, but I think it had some good points in the idea of the cure and why some people want to take the cure and some don't. Like, there's no blanket answer. It's a case-by-case basis, and it's the people who have to make the decision, or in Andrew's case, his closest of kin, which is May, in this case, because he just could not control himself. So that alone, like, every time there's anything that reminds me of X-Men in this universe, I'm all up for it. I already love it, and I'm really glad that they're using the Inhumans as a sort of, quasi X-Men, because they can't have the X-Men on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so they have to use the Inhumans as a sort of parallel superhuman large group of people, genetic alien kind of thing. So that's always a great thing for me, and I really liked how by the end of the episode you could kind of see that both Daisy and Rosalind were kind of coming along to see the other's point of view. That was nice. And then there was, Lincoln. You guys know I like Lincoln. I really love him. And I love his character at the same time. In this episode, I kind of had my ups and downs with him, because I was glad that he called Mac. I was glad that he figured out that, hey, Lash isn't S.H.I.E.L.D., I was really glad that, because really only someone from the outside could have figured that out. And I'm glad it was Lincoln, and I'm glad it brought him back into the fray, kind of. At the same time, when they were about to go get Andrew, and he's just pissed off and rampaging through the place like, I'm gonna get him myself. I'm like, really, Lincoln? You can't be that stupid. And, like, the entire sequence, I was just, like, this whole drama was unfolding, and I was just sitting there like, Lincoln, what the hell are you doing? You cannot be that stupid, dude. You cannot. And, it was silly. I know he was angry, but really, Lash already tried to kill you once. He can open a hole through your chest, dude. Do not go and test him. That is not the right call. You're not trained. You're not a fighter. It really upset me, but, and it kind of bugs me that no, he didn't like nothing happened to him, so he might think that he's in the right. I hope that now that he's back at S.H.I.E.L.D, that Daisy and Mac and whoever is around sit him down and have a talk with him about putting himself at risk for some ridiculous grudge. Speaking of grudges, really enjoyed the talk between Bobby and Hunter. That was nice. I mean, I thought it was funny because Hunter wants to kill Ward to protect Bobby, and Bobby wants Hunter to stay put to protect him. So, I mean, down in the end, I think it's good what Bobby reminded him of, that, you know, she doesn't want them to become obsessed, because in their line of work, that is a real thing. I'm not sure that Hunter actually bought it, you know, like, I'm not sure that he's actually intending to do what Bobby told him to do, because he's reckless like that, so I wouldn't put it past him to still be looking for Hunter somehow, like, deep incognito or something. But I like their conversation. I've grown to like them as a pairing a lot, so that's great. And speaking of pairings, then there was the Gemma and Fitz thing, because they continue breaking my heart every episode. That is so not fair. I mean, when Fitz was listening to her recordings and everything she said, and my heart, seriously, and he cried. And then Gemma's like, what should we do about it? And he's like, we don't have to do anything, because he understands that she's just, like, it was a difficult time for her, and Will was there for her in that difficult time, and he knows that it's not something that can't be solved, like, from one day to the other. It's at least he knows, you know, that she had some sort of feelings for him, so that's good. You know, he's not feeling beat down anymore. He just knows that this Will thing has to pan out so that she can figure out what it is that she wants, you know, because right now she's kind of in limbo. It sort of reminds me of the Hunger Games a little. If you guys know me, you know that I'm a big Hunger Games fan. It's one of those things where, you know, when Gil tells Katniss, you know, if Peeta had died, then you would never have looked at me, you know, because you would always feel guilty about Peeta. That's kind of the same thing with Gemma. It's like if Will is never comes back there, never able to reach him again, she will never be sure, you know, like, what her choice should be. She might get together with Fitz and always be thinking, what if I had seen Will again? So we don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen, so I'm glad that Fitz now kind of understands her a little, and at the same time, I mean, I'm sure he's very hurt by just listening to everything she went through. That must have hurt like crazy. So, just those two. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with them. I'm kind of glad to see the whole, you know, NASA mission sign thing, because if there was some kind of secret order behind that, I can feel a little bit better about it not being NASA who sent them on some sort of suicide mission without any means of getting them back, without even knowing if they could be retrieved. Because if you read my review for that episode, you know that I kind of ranted about it for like 5 minutes straight, because yeah, NASA would never do that, but if it was someone else calling the shots, like someone above NASA, then I feel a lot better about it. So I hope that pans out. I don't know, I mean, it was a great episode. May at the end when she shot Andrew, just get him back into the containment chamber, and Coulson is like, how'd you know I wouldn't kill him? She's like, I didn't. Oh God, just stabbed me with a knife right in the heart. It was just such an emotional episode, so tense, so action-packed. I mean, it wasn't perfect. There were still some things that I didn't like the Lash thing that I mentioned, that he didn't look all that great. The way he turned into Lash, I thought was really stupid, by the way. Like, I'm sorry, you open a book and there's mist all of a sudden? I mean, I can see why Zhejing would, you know, like, booby trap her books and her ledgers, because again, a list of Inhumans, that's kind of a big deal. she wouldn't want it to end up in the wrong hands. I can see that happening. What I can't see happening is that she just gives him the book without even checking to see if there was something weird about it. Are you serious? Like, all those things, there are decontamination rituals with that sort of stuff. I mean, you never know. You have to make sure. It's all evidence. It has to be, assessed before you release it to anyone, especially since Andrew is just a therapist. He's not necessarily a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. He's not a S.H.I.E.L.D. scientist. I would think that they would go through all that bureaucracy before even releasing it to him. So how come he didn't, how come he just opens it and he's the first person that happens to? I thought it was a bit silly. I mean, I guess they had to find a way, and you couldn't really have him eating up fish oil tablets because he already knew about it. But still, I thought it was a silly way to go through the change. I don't know, I just thought it was really silly. Yeah, there was one other thing I didn't like. I can't remember it. I can't really remember it right now. Oh yeah, again, Lincoln's power. Like when he shot the electricity at Lash, it almost looked like a Kamehameha from Dragon Ball Z. So I was just kind of laughing about it. It looked really silly to me. So they could have done a little better with the special effects. And then the end. Oh my god. First of all, again, I mean, I've said like 4 times already in 4 different reviews that I think Rosalind is not a bad guy. I guess I stand corrected. I mean, I should know by now that all my speculation is wrong. I kind of should be used to that. But I like the twist at the end, especially since, okay, now something has officially happened between Rosalind and Coulson. And Coulson is definitely in over his head. Dude, don't let yourself be, messed with by that woman. On the other hand, I'm still hoping that maybe she'll have a change of heart at some point, that she really does care about Coulson somehow, and that she decides to help him against whoever, I guess Hydra, that he decides to help him in the end, just in time to die a heroic death, because if she turns and helps Coulson over Hydra, then it's probably a sign that she's gonna die soon. So I wouldn't be surprised, but I like the twist. I wasn't expecting it, honestly. Like, I genuinely thought that she was really into him. So I hope that maybe in the future I'm proven right. But I guess at this point, she really is kind of working against him. Another thing I liked, I was all kind of happy that I hadn't seen Ward in this whole episode, but I actually liked his scene, not necessarily because of Ward, but because the other Hydra dude, finally somebody told Ward, hey, you have to think on a grander scale. Because that's what I've been saying since day 1. He's running his operation like a newbie. Okay? He's a noob at being a leader. Okay? And he's nowhere near what the old Hydra heads were. So I'm glad that somebody finally told him. And, he was there boasting, like, yeah, I'm gonna take Coulson down, and the other Hydra dude's just like, yeah, alright, go ahead and think that, kid. I don't know what's gonna happen to Ward, but I liked that somebody finally told him that, he's not quite the Hydra head he thinks he is yet. I don't know, I'm really excited about that guy being in the show. First, because, again, it's a tie-in to the movie, so that's great. And second, because he just seems to have a level head, and he seems like one of the old Hydra heads. I like that, because Hydra got taken down, and now it's nowhere near what it used to be. It's like nowhere near as threatening as it used to be, and I want the old Hydra back, kind of. Not led by Ward, preferably. So yeah. Overall, this was an amazing episode. It wasn't perfect by any means. There were things that bothered me, particularly the special effects. They were kind of crappy in this one. And also the way Andrew transformed. I didn't think that made a lot of sense. But it was a great episode, full of, excitement and drama and tension and the whole thing, and a lot of deep themes that are some of my favorite things about Marvel properties. So, always good to see that in the show. It's not just about explosions and monsters, it's about people. I like that. Let's hope they keep going that way. I'm a bit disappointed that apparently Andrew wasn't working for anybody. But I'm not giving up on it, just like I'm not giving up on the Rosalind thing, Rosalind being a good thing yet. For the moment, I consider myself proven wrong, but kind of still holding on to hope that there's something more there. And interested to see what's going to happen now that Flash is out of commission momentarily. What's going to happen with May? What's going to happen with Lincoln now that he's with S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore? Is Joe ever going to come back? I really hope so. What's up with the Will thing? Will they ever find him? I don't know. I guess we'll see. But overall, amazing episode. Like, I was just kind of shell-shocked right after I finished watching. I still am a little. My emotions were all over the place, but it was so intense, so dramatic. One of the best episodes this season by far. Like, S.H.I.E.L.D. is doing a great job keeping up the momentum, and I hope they stay that way. So that's about it for this review. It's been a long one, 26 minutes, God. Yeah, it's been a long one, so I'll just shut up now. As always, if you want to see more reviews for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., be sure to visit our website at thegeekypub.com. We also have reviews for other TV shows, for movies, books, games. We have a ton of stuff in there, so be sure to check that out. And I will see you guys in my next review. Bye!